This is what grow alongs we're going to be doing in 2026, including the varieties that I'm going to be using and also the start dates for each of them. Tamar Organics have very kindly offered us a discount code to be used in buying seeds from them. In order to do that, then you need to sign up for my newsletter. From there, your discount code will actually be attached to your email address used. I will also give you information on all of these grow alongs to make sure that you've got all the varieties written down and alternatives that I'd suggest as well. The first grow along is going to start in early February, and that's going to be for celery. They do require light to germinate, so the earlier sowing is going to need to be if you have grow lights or a bright sunny windowsill. If not, we will also do a later sowing as well, which you can join in with. The variety for that is Tall Utah. The next one we're going to be doing is lettuce, and this one's going to be starting around mid-February. This one is going to be for lettuce year round, and that's going to work for the later sowings if you have an undercover space or if you live in a more milder area of the UK. The varieties that we're going to be using for this is Lolo Rosa, a Batavian variety called Maravilla di Verano, probably going to pronounce these wrong, a Cos variety called Moon Red, and then for our winter varieties, we're going to do a Cos variety called Winter Density and another one called Rogue de Hiver. They do a mixed variety that you could also join in with, and if you have magazines, then you'll have lots of seeds. So usually there will be plenty within those varieties that will work absolutely fine. And the next ones is going to be carrots. So this is going to be a mid-March start date for this. We're going to be using an early variety, which is a faster producing called Milan. That's a Nanti type. That will also be suitable for sowing later on in the year, particularly undercover as well, or for just an earlier, quicker crop. Then for our main crops, we're going to be using a variety called Solvita. If you are growing in pots, then it would be beneficial to look at a shorter variety, or if you've already had issues with carrot root fly, then looking at a resistant variety might actually be really helpful there as well. For our beetroot, we're going to be also starting this one in mid-March. We're going to be using a golden variety called Winter Son, and then a red variety called Janice. Our winter squash grow along is going to be starting at mid-April, and the variety that I'm going to be growing is Red Curie. Now, this is a variety that I will be giving away, so I have chosen a smaller variety which usually produces more per vine. You can also look at larger varieties, but the spacings for these is going to be at least a metre between each planting, and they will take up a huge amount of space with their leaves, and the varieties will be different for how much space that is. So you are going to want to make sure that you have enough space in order to grow the winter squash. Our onions from seed are actually going to be, first of all, for an overwintering variety, which is going to be sown right at the beginning of September. The variety that is sold by Tamar Organics is Mazona, and this is one that doesn't necessarily store very well. We might find later on in the year that they have other seed varieties once they have brought them in from collecting the seeds, and we might add a variety to this. You are going to want to make sure that you have fresh seeds for this grow along, so you're going to want to buy these seeds as late as possible nearer the grow along as well. The winter onions can be harder to grow from seed. We'll either get a fantastic crop with really good size onions, or if the weather isn't as kind to them, then we may not do as well with them. So that can be a bit of a gamble, but I will say that I have never had a year where I don't have a crop that I'm happy with. So I would really urge you to give them a go, even if you just sow a few just to see how they go. And then on top of that, we're also going to be taking this grow along into 2027, and we're going to be doing a February sowing then of our less hardy varieties. The reason that we're doing that in February 2027 is because I'm aware that most of you will already have your sets in, so this will give you an opportunity to try and grow from seed next year if you want to give that a go. The varieties that we're going to be using for the February 2027 sowing is going to be a long red Florence and Bajosta. So that's a red and a white variety. Of all these varieties, the ones that really are going to be important for us to have fresh seeds, particularly, is the carrots. They need to be 1 or 2 years old maximum. So make sure that you do buy some that are completely fresh, and also the onions from seed. Hence, I'm suggesting that you pick those up nearer the time as well. For the others, you'll usually find that the germination will be absolutely fine, and you'll have enough time, if they don't germinate, to pop some more in as well. And then our final grow along is going to be Cosmos. These can be really expensive actually to buy from plants, and they're very easy to grow from seed. We're going to be starting this one around mid-March. You don't want to start them too early because they need the light levels to be correct in order to get them flowering at the right time and make sure they produce as well as possible for us. We are looking at a mix from Tamar Organics called Cosmos Mix Cosmea, and that one is what we're looking at. We are not looking at the sulfur orange or the chocolate varieties of Cosmos. So any of the other varieties will work for this grow along. They are going to be happier being newer seeds, I found, rather than any that are too old, but sort of 2 years old should be absolutely fine. And you can do a germination test beforehand as well if you're worried about those. For each of these grow alongs, I will also do an additional video around a month before each of them, which gives you much more information on everything you'll need and more information on spacings and things like that as well, to make sure that you've got everything ready to go as soon as we want to get going with the sowings. So I really hope that you're going to join us for these 2026 grow alongs, whether that's just one of them or you're going to join in with all of them. And I would love some feedback about the newsletter and things like that as well. So please to keep in contact. So my name is Kimberly and this is Seedling Success UK.